everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Garbage Heart Out of the Can Haunt Review 2015 for The Abyss at Lemp Brewery in St. Louis, Missouri. Have to get that very, very carefully, because if you talk about The Abyss without mentioning Lemp Brewery, people don't know what you're talking about, from what I've gathered.
Yeah, the locals know it as Lemp Brewery.
Yeah. And it turns out this place has a lot of history, a lot of spooky history to it.
I don't know about all
A
that,
mysterious history?
Yes.
Oh, we'll run with that.
We'll run with it.
But the long and story short of it is, there was a guy named Lemp. He launched a brewery. It had a bunch of underground caverns and passageways and so forth, and then he mysteriously shut it down one day.
Yes.
That's the crux of the story.
Yes.
And now it's a haunted attraction.
Yay!
Yay. Now, we did the Darkness review already.
Right.
And then after we did the Darkness, we schlepped in the car on over to the Abyss.
Right.
And from a front of house standpoint,
wow.
Polar opposites.
We didn't know if we were in the right place or if
it was
were
open or what the freak was going on. The big sign said parking $3.
Yeah.
No one there to take our money.
Yeah. Have no idea.
Have no idea. If we screwed you guys out of $3, we'll send it in the mail. I'm sorry. We did not intend to. It was not planned. It's just the way it worked out. And didn't know where to go get tickets. Didn't know where to walk to. There was no signs. The darkness.
But there were lights.
Yeah, but
off in the distance. So that's what we went towards.
Yeah, we went toward the light. That ended up being the correct guess.
Yes.
But still, a lot of uncertainty about where to go for this one in front of house. And when we got there, there was just one actor who wasn't really doing much of anything, and one ticket taker / letter enter guy.
Yes.
He was cool. He was cool. He was a great guy.
Talked to him for a while.
Had a fun chat with him. Since the line wasn't particularly long, in fact, we effectively were the line.
Yeah, there was one guy in front of us.
He let that person go way, way, way ahead of us just to make sure we didn't bump into them and give the actors time to reset.
And we did not.
No, we did not bump into him. I never saw him.
Kudos for the timing. Yeah.
Indeed. And I got to say, where the Darkness was not particularly dark, the Abyss was definitely rather Abyss-like.
Yes. Well, you start by going down the spiral staircase.
This metal, firehouse staircase.
Yes.
And it feels like you descend forever on this.
Into the abyss.
Into the abyss. And you go way, way down there.
Yeah.
And then you're pretty much in total darkness. Because as I said, you're in the cave structure underneath what was Lemp Brewery.
Yeah. And that's pretty much my complaint with this. Is that, we get down there and it is pitch black. Which, great for actors. Not so great for people who want to see what you did.
Yeah.
Because I could see that there were sets set up, and I could see that maybe I was supposed to see them, but I couldn't see them.
Yeah, the primary method of lighting in this haunt are these little pin LED flashlights, like single bulb LEDs, that they would just tack up in corners, mostly to provide guidance of where to walk toward,
right,
rather than to illuminate anything.
Yeah, and he did mention that there was less fog the night that we went than the previous night, so I don't know if they're expecting the fog to affect the light more.
Yeah, but the fog had no effect on the lighting.
I didn't even notice the fog, and I usually notice fog.
Yeah, we noticed the fog very strongly in the Darkness, barely noticed any in the Abyss. The main thing is, you're going through this pitch black, and for the most part, it's just you wandering through pitch black with actors jumping out. We called them maracas. But they were...
Yeah, I think Shawnee termed that.
I think it was Sean's term. Because basically I think they were gas cans or jugs with rocks or something inside. They could shake and make a lot of noise and then beat against things.
Right.
And be very, very loud. So you'd be walking down a hallway and then there'd be an actor on the other side of these barrels and you'd shake it, slam it, and then lunge into the group type thing. And yeah, it felt very intense. Actors could easily separate your group.
Right.
Even though they really never separated the group.
Right.
They would just become a fifth person.
Yes. We got fifth and sixth people often.
Yes.
Not a bad thing.
No.
I realized at one point in a particularly dark area that if the person in front of me was not Ellie, then I did not know who they were.
And they could lead you wherever they wanted.
They could have. They could have slowed me down to bring me up from the group and then disappeared. There's some things that, could be done with just noticing that can happen.
Yeah.
So
now, there was a lot of good distract and startle in there.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there was a triple distract and startle.
Yes.
Because I remember I was pointing out to Sean how they had an actor run past, you're
Mm-hmm.
following him, another actor attacks from the side,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm pointing out, see, this is a classic distract and startle, and then a third guy comes. Like, oh, yeah, this dude. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
He actually got you a little
You know,
bit.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are moments like that in there, and I really enjoyed there was a hallway where they're doing, come here, come to me, and then you're like feeling your way through the darkness, and then they managed to have a drop panel like literally inches from your nose, basically.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty effective. They were definitely able to take advantage of the fact that the actors, having been in the darkness for an extended period
Right.
of time, have better night vision than you.
Yes.
And they're just going to because they've been in there probably all night.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. So yeah, they really exploited it. It was a very, very good actor's playground. To me, it's kind of like what would happen if Necropolis 13 and the Mortuary had a very bizarre baby. Because you have the inherent atmosphere of the mortuary.
Right.
And
these cave structures, and we could see the caves in a couple of spots because the lights were up near them.
yeah,
So,
and you could see that it was not a flat.
right, I could tell it was cave.
Yeah, it was a cave structure. So you have the natural ambiance of the mortuary combined with the actor's playground that is Necropolis 13.
Right.
And the thing is, it works pretty well conceptually, but it was just so dark.
Yeah.
And I get that they want it to be very dark. I
Yeah.
get that that's kind of the goal, but it might have just been pushed that hair too far. Because A, they never played with light and dark.
No.
It was just dark, 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 dark all the way through it.
Yeah.
They never had a scene that was just, okay, here's the bright part for you.
Yeah.
Or they never really experimented with that.
Right.
But it was so dark, I spent more time trying to figure out where to go
Mm-hmm.
than what's going on.
Right. Which is a problem.
Yeah, which is kind of a problem. Because, when you visit other haunts, that little bit of at ease and security is what gets you to let your guard down
Right.
so you can be really scared.
Exactly.
And here, they just ramped up the where am I intensity to the point that the main fear came from, oh God, where am I?
Yes. I'm going to be lost.
I am totally lost. And
Yeah.
yes, that's a very intense feeling.
Yeah.
If that's one of your fears, if that's something that scares you, they play with it and needle at it nicely.
Yes.
But if you're there for a sort of a spook house, we want to be startled and scared by the actors, it's really hard to break through that existing tension.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I did enjoy it. It was a very different kind of attraction than what I'm used to.
Yeah. And we debated with our family which was better, Darkness or Abyss.
Yeah.
And I think we agreed that we like them for different reasons.
Yeah, they're two very different attractions, much like Necropolis 13 and 13th Gate.
Yeah.
They're two very different attractions, and it's hard to compare them head to head.
Yeah, it is.
So honestly, kind of go with your gut as to which you think might be more to your particular set of fears.
Yeah, I think that the Abyss got more startles and scares, and I think that the Darkness is just beautiful to look at.
It's beautiful scenery, a good immersion overall, and especially if you hate insects,
Yeah.
you're gonna really hate parts of the Darkness. But yeah, they're two very different attractions in just about every regard. It's hard to believe they're put on by the same people.
Right.
Should add a programming note. They do have a third attraction, Creepy World.
Yes.
That is more toward the west side of St. Louis. We were not able to get to it this year. That is partly my fault because I did not realize they were open that Sunday.
Oh.
So we could have possibly Tetrised it in time-wise then, but I did not realize it until after they were already closed.
Okay.
So that is partly my fault.
All right.
All right, but any final thoughts on the Abyss at Lemp Brewery?
No.
No, all in
It
all,
was a good time.
it's a good time. Definitely very, very, very dark.
Yes.
On that note, everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
This was Garbage Heart Out of the Can Haunt Review 2015 for the Abyss at Lemp Brewery.